Hello everybody. Today I wanted to talk about something that I use a ton on set, my cart. This cart in particular is the DigitalFoto Titan cart. Now I'm sure DigitalFoto is a brand many of you have not heard of, and of course I'll be talking a little bit today about why you have it, and honestly why you probably might still not. So first things first, we want to get the cart set up. The cart has these little handy latches on the side here that you just turn, twist, they unlock, and pops up like that. One on each side. Now when unlocking the cart like this, I prefer to take the bottom of the cart and lay it up, and the bottom of the cart, the top of the cart and lay it down. You'll see why in a moment. So the nice thing about a little suitcase style collapsible cart like this is this. You can pop off the top, comes off just like this, hold stuff inside. Now of course this is the bottom actually, so I'm gonna set this down. Okay, so the cart here, we have our goodies. So these wheels are actually really nice because they have this kind of quick release lever on them, and you don't have to screw them in or anything or bolt them or anything. It just locks with this little lever here. So we're gonna take our wheels, to help if I unlock it, slide it right on there, and then pull the lever to lock. Same thing, I want to take my other rotating wheel, make sure it's unlocked. Slide it on, lock. Nice and tight, not going anywhere. Something you'll notice is it has these little safety catch mechanisms, so that even if it's unlocked, the wheel might slide around, but it's not gonna fall off or anything like that. But these locks are pretty tight, and I've never had one come loose in transportation. I've been in some kind of finicky situations, so I trust them. Then we have our two straight wheels. Cool. Those are locked. I'm gonna flip it. Okay, so that's going somewhere. Speaking of, it actually has these nice locks here. You just push down. You could also use your foot and it'll hold it in place. Same thing on this side. You can also kick them up again with your foot. Something I have noticed though that's bothered me a lot is, especially in transport, these brakes will come undone. And so they're great for keeping it in place, but honestly, I don't rely on them in heavy load, which we'll get to. So then, the cart actually comes with these nice tubes. I can't remember if they're aluminum or carbon. No, these are definitely aluminum. So it comes with these aluminum tubes. It has little numbering on the sides here to be able to tell kind of where you're at, how much height you want, as well as leveling. Honestly, these are probably centimeters, but American, so it doesn't quite click for me. But anyways, they'll go into this little mechanism, lock it around, pull it through, tighten kind of, and then take a look at my other numbering. Cool. And then again, with those same knobs, we have these little twist knobs here. Take this, one side, turn it, make sure it's nice and tight. But you also want to over tighten it so you don't break it. I prefer to store it this way because it fits in the cart broken down like this, but it makes setup a lot easier for me because I only have to take these parts, stick them on like that, and it's good to go. One of the things I recommend is that when you're putting the cart together, you put the knobs outwards so that they don't get caught on any gear inside and you get a little bit more usable space, especially with some of your taller gear. Perfect, that's the base. Okay, so now that it's set up, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the top. So I wanna make sure these go on. Before you try and put it on, especially yourself, you wanna make sure that these are all the way loose, so you're not trying to put a tightened knob down on top of the poles, otherwise it doesn't quite sit. Before you really push down on one side, I always recommend making sure that you're check that you're on all sides, otherwise it comes kind of hard to push down, and then just that. Push. push. Good. Now screw in. Twist. Then I have my handle here with quick releases. I'm gonna slide that in, lock, nice and set in place. Hopefully not going anywhere. Last but not least, the cover, which I totally just set down in the dirt right now. Loose quarter 20. Good thing I have little threaded holes on the side that I can stick it into so I don't lose it. Bam. Okay, so that's the complete cart. Let's go ahead and take a tour of it. Okay, so looking at our cart here, we had a couple of things going on. One of my favorite features is these little threaded mounting holes right here. You have quarter 20 with anti-twist, and then 3/8 with anti-twist as well, which makes it really handy if you want to attach an arm or something to the side, or I usually use it to attach an arm with either a transmitter, or sometimes like a smaller monitor to the side if someone wants it. Speaking of monitors, this cart actually does have these holes right here for an optional monitor attachment accessory that goes across, so you could attach all 3 bars. I personally don't really have monitors that I carry around like that, so I haven't picked it up, but it is something you can do. So something else I really like about this cart is the ability to fold down the shelf right here. All it takes is these little quick release swats. Boom. Boom. Folds down just like that. I find this really handy if A, I'm using a laptop on the cart and offloading footage. Just set it right here, work straight down. Don't have to do any weird hand bending around the corners. Something else I find it actually helps out a lot for is a lot of times I'll have a script supervisor sit here. We'll put a monitor on that side of the cart and then they can work there. Obviously, which side they work doesn't matter. But basically they'll be able to write unobstructed here, no worrying about having to have like a clipboard or anything like that. Another spot with mounting holes is these little side rails here. Again, 3/8, quarter 20. Some of them have the locking pins, some of them don't. Obviously, you might find it easier on that side as well as if your accessory is a little too small. But again, the reason I have them on this side is so that these knobs don't interfere with stuff. And I'll show you when I load the cart why exactly I prefer that. Okay, so now that the cart's built, I'm sure you're wondering how much it can take weight-wise, because that's often one of the fallbacks with some of the cheaper carts versus something like a Jaeger or an innovative cart is weight load, especially with something like one of these top shelves, or even honestly the wheels themselves. Okay, first off, doing this in above 80-degree weather, not my smartest move. Second of all, we can fit quite a lot on this cart. As you see, I have it stacked top to bottom. If I'm maybe going over super rugged terrain, I don't know if I would have just a milk crate sitting on top like this. One other thing I forgot to mention, RoboCup, absolute favorite. Clamps onto those knobs, no issues, no problems. So definitely one of the bonuses of having a cart like this. Something else I really like is being able to take my headsets, pop them on there, and leave them just like that, no issues. And especially when we're transporting or when we go to lunch, super easy place to put them, super easy place to pick them back up. Makes it nice and easy for camera. Now, of course, one of the other problems with kind of the more off-brand carts is you wonder how the wheels perform under load. So let's go ahead and take a look. Brakes held up fine-ish once I started to put up on there, but while I was packing it, I did notice it was starting to move a little bit from its original position. That was also partially because I rammed it with the 600s, so take your pick. Turning is fine. There's a little bit of weight for sure on it. It's also, this ground's just really uneven. But honestly, the cart handles it like a champ. No issues. I've taken this a lot of times in elevators, no problems. Now here is one thing I have noticed about this cart when it's loaded, is that when you lift this, especially if you need to go over like a really steep step or something like that, oftentimes what I find happening sometime, especially if it's been a longer day, is these little knobs have loosened themselves and the top will actually pull up. And I've never had it fall all the way off, but I have had it pull off partially on shoots before. Thankfully, nothing's ever been down, but because of that, I tend to take the larger stuff or the more expensive stuff off the top shelf when I am moving it up some stairs or something like that, just so I don't risk any casualties. But other than that, I really haven't had any issues with the weight or the construction. Let's see how long it takes to take apart. So here's the thing about this cart. I love this cart, don't get me wrong. It's a great cart, especially for the price I paid for it. It gave me a lot of features like the tray, the detachable wheels, being able to collapse it all up, which were things I need. This whole cart itself is about 24 inches this way by about 40 inches this way. Couldn't tell you what the height is, I'll add it on the screen. Now, it also folds up very nicely to be able to fit into the back of my car. I drive a Volkswagen ID4, so not the biggest car, but also not a smaller sedan. With that, I'm able to take this cart. I always fold it up, but I keep the wheels on it actually to make unloading and loading easier for myself. It does have an optional suitcase wheels. I personally found them really annoying to take on and off, and I just kind of let them be. So I just leave the normal wheels on the bottom, no problem. I'll take one side of the cart, put it on my trunk, lift the other side up, push it in. Now, one thing with this is it is kind of heavy. Honestly, I think it's somewhere around 70, 80 pounds, which, okay, isn't the heaviest thing compared to some of the other carts out there. But that being said, I do often find myself actually hurting my back from time to time. Whether or not it's just me rushing, me thinking I can get it at this angle, me trying to just carry the whole thing wide across. 40 inches isn't the largest thing compared to some of the larger carts, which can get up to 48 inches. But it is still wide enough that it's awkward to hold. Even me with my wide arms, I still end up stretching out like this. And because it's such an awkward load weight-wise, I find it puts a lot of strain on my back to carry by myself. So I'll often try and have someone load it in for me when I'm leaving a shoot, and or if I have someone at my house before, I'll honestly ask them if they can help me load it in my car as well, just to help protect my back. It also makes it a little easier to push it all the way into the car, lock the brakes, and have someone on the other end holding it for you. Especially because sometimes without both brakes engaged, it can be a little iffy. But yeah, I would say overall pros of this cart. I love the handle being able to take on and off. It's actually a lightweight carbon fiber too, so it doesn't really add much, but it's honestly pretty durable. I haven't had any issues with it yet, and I love being able to hang things off of it and or clamp things to it. These little mounting holes are great for arms, great for mounting batteries, great for mounting honestly whatever I want. Same thing on the bottom below, although they're on this side. But same thing for the bottom with the mounting holes, is being able to mount stuff on the bottom. I haven't really used those, but the option to have them is kind of nice, especially if you're doing any sort of cable management stuff that routes through them. Honestly, I prefer to just use these holes instead. I find routing stingers and stuff through them, especially on the sides, is really handy, because then I can attach a cube tap on the other side and be able to just kind of attach everything, and it kind of self-anchors itself. These little suitcase latches on the sides, being able to lock it up with the suitcase latches, hold it in place. I've never had them come undone on me, especially because they kind of have this locking thing where they'll slot over the groove. I'll show you a closer version of that. but then also the ability to put the handle on either side I want. So I can take that handle, pop it over here, just like that, holds just the same. What else? Oh, the back shelf, honestly, really handy. I use it a ton. It's a feature I'll definitely be looking forward to on other carts in the future. I love that this is detachable so that if I do need to do something dirty on it, I can. I love the option for the monitor mounts. Personally, again though, I haven't really used them, so it doesn't really matter to me that much. I'll usually just have a monitor on a stand or magic arm up this way. The wheels. That's the one of the biggest things I noticed about this cart is having the detachable quick lock wheels like that just slide on and off. Really great. There are more options starting to come out that are doing the same thing in this price, but when I had originally bought this cart, there wasn't a ton, especially in the price bracket. The brakes, the braking system is also really nice. I find when it does work, it works really well. It's just, as the years have gone on, they've kind of started to loosen up, which I should have expected for a less name brand cart like this. But yeah, let's talk about the cons for this cart. So I really do like this cart, but like I mentioned before, the weight's kind of killer. I don't like that the brakes don't really stay kind of set, but the biggest deal breaker for me was that these things loosen. I get it. For a cart that is compactable, folds up all this, especially at this price point, there's definitely some compromises to be made. And of course, you don't want to be putting super high strain on it. It's happened enough times to me that I honestly just don't want to trust it, especially with some of the more expensive cameras and lens setups we use. Putting it on the top shelf, even if it's secured to something, and knowing that the top shelf could potentially come away from underneath or up top, is just not something I'm going to wait for to happen. So unfortunately, I will be looking to upgrade this cart in the future, but I will say in general, if you are considering getting a cart to upgrade your workflow, I definitely would highly suggest it. It's one of those things that helps no matter the size of band you are, whether you're a full crew or whether you're a solo shooter. Being able to pack all your things on the shelves, being able to attach things to your shelves, being able to just push in and out, especially if you're a van shooter or have access to a camera truck, being able to just leave the cart fully built, roll it on, roll it off, night and day difference. But also again, as a solo shooter, being able to fold this up, just stick it in the back of my car, or honestly, even on sets where we have some other complete transportation solution for the gear, being able to just set this, roll it onto the truck, have all of my stuff already on it and ready to go, and being able to just pull it back out the next day or the next location makes things really easy. In conclusion, at the end of the day, I really do like this cart, especially for what I paid for it. It is starting to get to a point though where I don't fully trust it on jobs, and as such, I'm going to need to replace it. I'm probably going to look into something like the new cart from Small Rig. It is meant to be more lightweight, and it is actually a little bit smaller at 36 inches as opposed to the 40 inches of this cart. But honestly, a lot of the ACs I work with tend to have a cart of their own, and especially something larger like a Magliner Senior, which is about 48 inches off the top of my head, I believe. So I really don't need an extra large cart myself, especially when I'm only using it either for solo shooting or if I need a monitor for some sort of video village portable system or maybe dueling as a battery cart. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I look to hear from you in the comments, especially honestly if you have a cart you prefer as your own, or I know a lot of people prefer the kind of convertible rock and roller systems, or even something like just a wagon instead of a cart, which honestly, I think I'm gonna have to look into picking up anyways, because they look really handy, especially with all the bits and cases and stuff that I need in particular. I find they actually fit a lot better in a wagon than they do trying to measure them onto this cart. Have a nice day.